Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Wendy here from Little Nest Crafts. This is another video in the collaboration for Mandy over at Sunflowers and Doors and Natalie with LineDotArrow, and it's highlighting their beautiful kits that they created to go alongside this collaboration, and the kit is called Ink Stained Archives. So I hope that you've been following along. I did a little introduction video, and then I did an introduction video welcoming you to the collab and giving you a few of its details, and then I did a little video showing you that I'd put together this little tiny mini journal, and I started by putting in some of the pockets and then went off camera to complete putting all the little bits of ephemera in, and some things I've used the little Tim Holtz paper clips to hold in. And now I want to make a cover for this clip. So if you want to follow along to the video, just follow the hashtag, and I think it's Ink Stained Archives, and it will take you to everybody's video. Or if you go over to Mandy's Facebook group, or over to LineDotArrow's Facebook group, sorry, I can't get my words out this morning, Natalie's Facebook group, which is called LineDotArrow, and you'll get all the information from those websites. There's lots of giveaways and prizes to be had, and Natalie and Mandy are releasing freebies every week for 3 weeks during the month of November, and it will give you extras to go along with the ink stained kit. So what I've done is I've printed off the freebies and I've cut them out. This was the freebies for this week because I want to add extras to my journal, and these are a few bits that I haven't used as yet. And then what I've done is I've taken the files and I've reduced them down in size in order to make myself a little cover for my journal. And looking at it, I think that is actually going to be too small. Yeah, way too small. I've got my measurements out, so I'm going to have to rethink that one. And yeah, I did measure the journal, but it just goes to show. So don't worry, because these can get used to add little additions and extras inside my journal. So I'm going to go away now and remeasure, and yeah, hope that I can get them right this time. How I got them so far out, I do not know. So, but there you go. It just goes to show you, doesn't it, that we're not all perfect, and there are glitches in the system because it's human, it's human error. So I shall be back in a bit. I'll go and redo. Right, everybody, I'm back, and hopefully this is printed the right size. And I know what I'd done was I'd actually measured one cover, but I'd measured the whole thing, so it ended up half the size of what it was supposed to have been. So I've split the pictures now on Publisher, and those look as though they're going to be the perfect fit for this little journal. And I've made a little spine, and then I've taken one of the prints here to put on the inside cover. So what I'm going to do is dismantle this old postage envelope that I've had here that was sending me a card, and we're going to recycle it and use it for making the cover of this little journal. So I'm just taking off as best as I can where it was adhered. Really strong glue there. And excuse Toto in the background, she's in her chatty mode this morning. And so I don't know if you can actually hear what she's saying, but she goes through a repertoire of about 600 words that she does. And then let me have a look, see if I can get this up open without destroying the envelope too much. So we'll have a look. Just get my letter opener. There we go. And there we go. So what I've done is I've printed, this is quite, you know, quite a thick card, probably, I don't know, 200 GSM maybe. And this is printed out onto 160 GSM cardstock or paper. And what I'm going to do now is get my scissors and we'll cut these out. So I hope this is useful for those who've never made a little book cover before. There we go. So that's one. That's two. Yeah, so I use Publisher to do my alterations on when I'm manipulating the DigiKits, etc. And apparently Microsoft are finishing it next year, so if any of you could recommend a good program to use instead of Publisher, I would be very grateful, because I haven't got a clue where to start. I know a lot of people use Canva, which I do use for making some things, but I'm not fully au fait with the program. Oh, she's singing How Much Is That Parrot in the window now. Hello chicken, you're gorgeous, she says. Gives a kiss. She's doing lots of kisses now. Oh, tatters. So, let's have a look. Right, see you in the morning, she says. So what I'm going to do is use my guillotine to take off that piece, because these will actually fit on here. And I'm just wondering if I could get my spine out of it as well. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is cut this off, cut the bottom and the sides off, and then I want to cover this with something as well, and just so that in the spaces between here that you're not going to see white, plus it'll give it a bit more thickness as well. So I'm going to go away, cut this with my guillotine, and then print off a sheet so that I can cover that with. Right, everybody, what I've done is I've printed off this back sheet and I've cut the card down so that it fits the spine and these two front and back plate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover my card, and not quite, if I'd have gone borderless we'd have been probably okay. So I'm going to have to go this way, and because it's got that line down the middle, I'm just going to line it in the middle of my, so around 4 inches. So let's have a look. I put that like that, and if we put that there roughly, that's roughly in the middle, and I need to turn it over and do that again. Let's have a look. So that's my centre line there. Lovely. So if let's have a look, I need that to go on this side. So let me do that again. Put that on my board. Tie my centre line. just over 4, about there. So where shall I go? Put that on the 13. And then what I'm going to do is use my glue stick. There we go. There is a bit of a shine to the card on this side. So I'm going to put plenty of glue on, especially around those corner edges. And then what I'm going to do as well is just use a bit of this glue around the edge, just to make doubly sure that it's going to stick well. There we go. And then just roughly my centre line, make sure that's straight, because I want any images to be straight. And then I'm going to just go like that, and then use my bone folder to make sure it's well and truly stuck down. There we go. Oops, a daisy, we've got glue on my board, so just get it right. There we go. Put the lid back on my glue. A bit more glue there. Just let that dry off a bit. And then what I'm going to do is cut round the edges, because we don't need all this excess. Save that. And same around the sides. Oh, you're gorgeous, she says. Do you want a biscuit? Right, so what we're going to do now is fold these edges in, and I'm going to use Fabri-Tac because it's getting very wet. And what I do is fold these in, fold the corners in like so, and then you get your corners covered. Oops, let's see how that glue makes it very wet. So I'll just do that again carefully. There we go. And then we'll pop a bit of glue on this one as well. There we go. And this one. There we are. And then we're going to fold these sections in. Some people do the bottoms first. I don't particularly mind which order I do them in, really. There we go. That's two sides done. and then we'll do along the bottom. And the top. There we go, and you get a nice finish then at your corners. You know, they're all nicely finished off. So now we go to the front. So I want this to be the right way up because, you know, obviously the writing's at the right spot. So we're going to post this onto here and make sure that we've got it the right way up. There we go. And then just make sure that this fits in the middle. And it does. So here we go. Make sure we get the corners. You're not a naughty girl, Toto. So that's that one. And then we'll do the back one, just so that I can get the spine part equally spaced. If I was to put that one down now, it might look a bit uneven. So there we go. And I've just had a thought as well. Let's make sure that's nice and straight and that that's in there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to score. I'm not going to glue this down because I've just had a thought that when I put my little journal in, I can put this down last and it'll hide my threads, you know, when I sew the signature in. So I'm going to leave that off for a minute, but I'm just going to turn it round and I'm going to use my ruler and I'm going to get an embossing tool and just put my score lines in. For when I want to score, you know, when I want to put my folds in. So I just need to make sure I'm far enough in. So I'm going to turn that round again and just do that. There we go. Super. So what we need to do now is cover the inside, and I don't think that that's going to fit, or maybe it will. Oh, and it does. That's perfect. That's perfect. So what I'm going to do is round the corners off. There we go. And it does need a tad, just taking just a tad off the top and the bottom. So we'll do that because it's just slightly too long. So let's have a look, make sure it's straight. I don't really want to cut them numbers off if I can, because I like having the numbers. Let me just take those two ever such a slither off, really, but that might make all the difference. Just round the corners again to make sure that they're all nicely shaped. We're taking that bit off the bottom. We'll have a look now. It's still just a tad. Another little bit off the top. Just about 1/8 of an inch, really. Cut and repeat. Let's have a look now before I put that away. So make sure that we've got our script the right way. That's better. Super. So we'll get that. Not keen on that black edge either. Let's just take that off. There. Sorry, everybody. I like it to be pleasing to my eye. There we go. Lovely. So we'll glue that down. I do love this glue, but it's so expensive. But it says what it does on the tin. So are you all getting ready for Christmas? The C word? I know a lot of people don't like you mentioning it, but this early, all the shops are selling their Christmas decorations and getting their festive hat on. So there is our little cover, and let's have a look, see if I can score it ready by just doing it gently down those score lines that we put in. There we go. I'm quite pleased with that. I think it looks quite nice. It's quite a substantial cover, nice little hardback cover there, because you've got the thickness of the card initially, and then you've got an extra 2 layers of 160 GSM paper. Well, you've got 3 layers actually, because you've got this layer, and then you've got 2 layers on top. So let's get our little signature and we'll pop it in there. And yeah, it's got plenty of room front and back, because obviously if you want to clip things in. And what I'm going to do is, this is going to be my prize. I'm trying to reach 1,500 subscribers, and I've been promising to do a little journal for when I reach 1,500 subscribers. So please keep watching this channel, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this little journal, and I'm not going to put any more bits and bobs in. I put quite a few things in to get people started, but I'm going to cut out lots more ephemera, and these are going to be all put in a pack so that the person who wins this little journal can add all of these pieces and they can decorate the journal as they wish. Now I'm going to put those in on the front and the back, but all of these bits and bobs, and I will do more. I'll cut out plenty and put plenty of scraps in and some book page, so that when it arrives, that they can decorate it as they wish. So there's lots to be going in there. There's extra pockets, lots of little bits of ephemera, little whale tail tabs. There's a little window there that I've put the film at the back. I'll put the spine on, but all of these bits and bobs will be included with this little journal, and it's going to be my thank you for everybody's support and for liking and sharing and commenting on my videos and sharing them with friends. So the sooner I get up to 1,500 subscribers, the sooner I can do the draw for this little journal. So I'm going to go away now, and I'll glue these two pieces in, and I'm going to sew my signature in. I won't do that on camera because I have shown it a few times in other videos of mine. And yeah, I'll sew the signature in, and then I'll give everybody a quick flick through, and you can, you know, have a look and see what it's like. So I'll be back in. So everybody, that's the signature sewn in to the little book, and yeah, quite pleased with how that turned out. And then we're going to glue on this little spine on the back here. So I'm just going to open it out as best as I can, and we'll get some Fab-A-Tack. There we go, right up to the corners and along the edge, so that it doesn't start peeling up. And then we'll pop it down, matching it as best we can with the top and bottom of the other two. We'll try and centralise it. And then I'm just trying to curve it round to the edges there. And there we go. We have our lovely little book. So I do hope you like that. I'm not going to decorate the front because I'll include bits and bobs so that the person can do that herself. But what I did want to do is I wanted to put a snippet, a little page edge with these little bits out of the kit, and I've put a tab on this one, and we're just going to glue these pieces on. Put a little book on there. Oh, I'll bring it down a little bit because I'll put that L on the top. No significance on the L, it's just using up some of the ephemera. And then we've got a little stamp. And this lady's bust here on the head. And we've got a typewriter. And a number 12, no significance on that either. That was from my stash. And then we've got this book with a quill to go on the bottom. And that'll fill that in nicely there. Just bringing them all down a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is, let me just wipe that glue off there. And I'm going to set it on the edge of my page. So we'll put some glue down, trying to keep the glue to the side that's going to go on the page. And I'm just going to wipe the glue off the back here because I don't want that sticking to the page underneath. So we'll just rub the excess off. There we go. There we are. And then I'm just going to, where there's white bits, we'll just ink the edges of those. There we are. And that's just give us a bit of interest on that first page there. And we'll do another one here. So let's have a look. Put that ticket on there. And we can use this one. Maybe put that one at the bottom. And we'll stick some books on there. And this little doggy. And the letter B. And we've got a little doggy there too. There we are. Let's find another page. That might be a nice one. Let's have a look. Might need to just bring them down a little bit because it's standing proud. So I'm going to move those two up a tad. And we'll cut the bottom off there. There we go. Yeah, that's better. So same again, we'll glue this side of the page. And that's why I've given it plenty of space on the edge of the book, you know, with the cover, so that you can put edges on your pages, and if they stand proud, it doesn't matter. And it's nice when you look down the side of the book and you can see other things peering out. So there are other pages that you could do snippet edges along. So I'll give you a quick flick through, and then we can close this video. So that's the front of the book and the back of the book, and the spine is nicely adhered down there. So that's your first page, and we've got a little pocket that's got a couple of folio cards in, so plenty of room for writing on. Little up tuck there, little belly band there with some tags in, little pocket there with a tag, and it's just got some of Tim Holtz's labels on, a record of the past it says there, a couple of little tags in there, and I haven't put any twine or anything in because I'm letting the person do it themselves. There's a tuck spot there that a nice card would go in, so I'll put that in there for now. And we've got lots of tags and snippet and bits and bobs in there. So you've got 3 tags, and we've got a side pocket here that's got nothing in, so you could put something in there. Let me have a look, see if there's anything. No, not quite big enough. little pocket there with some tags, another belly band there, and let's pop something behind there to give it a bit more. We could put in, what should we put in? One of these little tags. We've got some little teeny tickets here that have fallen out of the pocket, and there's a tag, or 2 tags, another of Tim Holtz's sentiments there. Little folio and some tags there in a side tuck, an up tuck there with some tulle, centre pages, favourite tales, some more tags and things there, which I'll put another one in. Another, is there 1 or 2? I need to just free that. Let's have a look. There we go. So a little tag there. Let's pop another one in. Little flip out there with a tag in. Let's pop another tag in there. Oops. Is that all on free in as well? There we go. It's got a little stamp there as well. Let me just see if there's another tag. There we go. So you've got a couple of tags in there. More labels, Tim Holtz's labels. Another pocket in there. A little snippet thing we did here. And I've just spotted a bit of glue, so we'll take that off. There we go. And a bit there. There we are. And a bit there. Lovely. And a bit on the back here too. There we go. And then we'll just dampen down the white on the back. There we go. It's a little godsend, that glue remover. So where did we get to? Yeah, so you've got that. And then we've got 2 little pockets there with some tags in. And we could pop another one in the front. 1 in each. And the person who wins this can move things around as they wish. We've got a little tag here with a Tim Holtz paper clip, and there's some embellishments in the back, and I will add a few more because it just saves places to store things with. And we've got little pictures, so it's acting as a little ephemera holder. And then I'll pop that back in there. And we've got another belly band, and I'll put an additional tag in there. And we've got extra ephemera holder there, which I'll add these books to, seeing as that says books. So we'll pop those behind, and that can go in there like so. And we'll slide that behind the paper clip. There we go. And we've got another of the tags with a pocket in the back. So I'm going to pop that picture and another of the tags in there, and we'll slide that under the paper clip. And we've got lots of ephemera in this little pocket down here. So we've got 3 pockets there. I'm not sure whether that'll fit in. No, it's a bit too wide, that one. Let's have a look. That'll be too wide. We've got another little ticket that can go in there. And another little ticket. So there's lots of ephemera that can be added to these. Will that one go in? Yeah. And we can add that into there too. And we've still got all these bits left over, which I'll put into a little envelope and you can have a play. So everybody, I hope that you have enjoyed this little little project. The papers that go with this collaboration are absolutely stunning. These papers are all from Mandy's kit. I've yet to work on Natalie's kit, and that's equally as gorgeous. Do go along to both of their Facebook groups and help yourself to all the freebies. Don't forget, at the beginning of every week, Mandy and Natalie will be releasing those into their Facebook groups, so it'll give you more ephemera to work on. I'm just sticking down these edges where it's right on the bend. Once the glue gets tacky, they do stay down nicely. And yeah, as I say, please enjoy the rest of the collaboration. Give everybody your support by liking and leaving a comment on their YouTubes and Instagrams, etc. And please share if you are actually following along with any of the projects and you're using the kits. You know, please share your work on their Facebook groups, because it does help to inspire everybody. And yeah, it's great, you know, to share and watch people's channels grow. And sorry, I'm seeing bits of glue. Well, that took a bit of the front cover off, but not to worry, I can ink that. There we go. So look out for the competition to win this little journal, and thank you, as I say, for all your support and for liking and, you know, following my little channel and staying with me while it grows. So I'd like to say goodbye for now, and I hope that you join me in my next video. And until then, stay safe and take care, everybody. Bye for now. Bye.